Last time on American Girl Horror Stories. What is going on? Why are you hurling fire blasts at the lake?
Gloomy, I saw a monster in the lake. When it saw me, it jumped in the lake and swam away.
The only evil and pestilence comes from you, you dark elf. Oh, the air turned my water frigid. I am freezing.
Who knew that Georgina is a mermaid? Their water magic is stronger than fire magic.
I'm stopping her since earth magic is stronger than air magic. But we will have to make amends. Channel, please come out. Where are you?
Georgina, it's been such a long time since I have last saw you. How are you?
Not good, that's why I am here. To ask for your help.
What? So you only remembered me because you needed my help?
Of course not! Silly, how could you think that? I always write to you, didn't you receive my letters?
Hey you, I was just joking. Nanny, you still haven't gotten used to my kind of humor. Anyway, why are you looking so stressed? What happened?
I am in such a dilemma. I am being bullied in my new home.
What? Didn't you just move to Totally Doll Street? What exactly happened?
Well, I have a neighbor who is an air witch and she took on this fire elf. This fire elf just kept on picking on me even though I was just minding my own business. Now the air witch is taking her side and you know water mermaids like me are weak against air witches.
And I guess that is where I come in. You need my help as an earth fairy since you know my power is stronger against air witches, correct?
That is right. I don't want you to hurt the air witch or even the fire elf. I just need you to be on my side so they won't bully me. Will you be able to help me?
Okay. You know I got your back. Let me just pack some of my things and I will go with you to Totally Doll Street.
Thanks, Channel. I knew I can count on you. Oh, I suddenly felt a chill as if a goose was walking over my grave. I really don't know but I wish she will show up soon so we can talk about the past. Anyway, welcome to American Girl Doll Horror Stories, where every Sunday, we will share a spooky story that will send shivers down your thorny spine. I am Gloomy Sunday and I am your narrator. And of course, my cat, Soot. Without further ado, let me call my book of shadows so we can begin tonight's spooky story. By what creeps, what crawls, by what does not. Book of Shadows, dilly-dally not. The Dead Elm Tree. Trigger warning for this story. It talks about S-word and possible self-harm. This is told from the point of view of a female professor who finds that one of her students' movies may be hiding something sinister. An online film student named Gary submitted a video that made me so horrified, I had to call the dean at 1 AM. She advised me to turn the clip over to the police. I teach filmmaking at an art college in Michigan. During the lockdown in late 2020, my filmmaking course was online. My usual first assignment as a student's film is setting. With an online class, the students just film around their houses. Most students were happy to show off their gaming setup and action figures collection. The student named Gary put his camera on a tripod and filmed a dead elm tree in his backyard for about 5 minutes. For continuity editing, I normally have students film a chase sequence or a snowball fight. For online, students just filmed themselves cooking or playing with their pets. Gary submitted a video of himself tying a noose. He then hung a mannequin on the same dead oak tree. I started to get creeped out, but I had to put on a brave face. Horror and film students always go hand in hand. I don't want to appear like I was easily spooked. For the next assignment, Gary submitted a clip of a man wearing a medieval jester costume and a smiling mask, dancing around the dead elm tree. It was in black and white and was beyond disturbing. I'm used to horror movies being submitted to me by students, but those were gory and wild, and fun. This clip was just eerie. After class, Gary messaged me privately and asked if I was sick of seeing the same tree over and over. Against my preference, I said no. If you found a muse which inspired him, then you should stick with it as long as you can. It felt like the right thing to say at the time. I found out from other professors that Gary began incorporating the dead elm tree into all that he did. In photography class, he retouched the photo of a car crash onto a photo of the dead elm tree. In digital illustration class, he drew the dead elm tree with a bunch of people hanging from it. Meanwhile, an aspiring YouTuber named Sam asked me if he could submit a Let's Play for an assignment. I normally would say no, but because everybody was in home isolation at the time, I thought, why not? Just add a lot of narration. Sam then invited me to watch him play Minecraft live on Twitch. When I did, I was amused to see that Gary was one of his team members. I asked Sam after the stream how he knew Gary, that Gary was his neighbor only a few houses down the road from him. Sam told me what happened to Gary back when they were in middle school. Gary was home alone and a man knocked on the door, telling Gary that he used to live in that house. The man asked his father to build him a tree house, and just when the father was about to finish it, he fell from the tree and broke his neck. It's been over 2 decades since he moved away, and the man told Gary he just wanted to see the elm tree again. Gary didn't let him inside but said that he can go around and look at it in the backyard. Gary played video games until his parents came home, where they found the man hanging from the tree. The semester after, in early 2021, Gary wasn't taking any of my classes, but his cinematography professor video called me about one of Gary's videos. The assignment was to light up a night scene, and Gary just filmed a handheld POV shot of him circling around a tree with a flashlight. She told me she yelled at Gary for submitting something like that instead of something more professional. Gary logged off and she wondered if she had made a mistake. Other students noticed Gary's obsession with the dead elm tree as well and started talking to me about it. They told me that Gary also dropped from all classes. A few days later, at about 11 PM, Sam was live streaming and I was watching him on Twitch. I was shocked to see Gary burst through Sam's bedroom door. He was covered in cuts and bruises. Shards of glass were all over his body, and his shirt was soaked in blood. Fresh blood was still dripping down from his forehead. Sam fell out of his chair screaming at the top of his lungs, rightfully freaking out. I'll give Sam credit for not cursing and chasing Gary out of his room. Sam asked Gary what was wrong. Gary looked into the camera and asked if I am watching. He told me to check the video he submitted. There were about 20 people in the chat, some of them were my students. I mentioned a dependable student in the chat, asking her to call 911, and told Sam to render basic first aid for Gary. Just when I was about to call the police myself, I got a notification that someone had uploaded a large video file to our department's file storage. I opened it, and it was a video clip said to be uploaded by Gary's username. It showed Gary placing a camera on the backseat of his car. He turned from his driver's seat and stared into the camera. My mouth was wide open when I saw Gary, without turning back around to face forward, just stepped on the gas and crashed into the dead elm tree. I believe that Gary developed PTSD due to what happened with the elm tree. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is a disorder that develops in some people who have experienced a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. It is natural to feel afraid during and after a traumatic situation. Fear is a part of the body's fight-or-flight response, which helps us avoid or respond to potential danger. It's important not to push someone with PTSD to talk, and it's best to listen without judgment if they wish to share. Let them know you're interested in what they say and that you care but don't give advice. Listening attentively is the act that will help your loved one, not what you say. That is all for tonight's spooky story. Please come back next Sunday as we share another scary story from the dark side of the world. Again, this is Gloomy Sunday and that is my cat, Soot. Blessed be.